Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 1 over-unders to bet, and I'm looking forward to it. Last year, the over-unders were really, really good to us, and I think they will be again. Hit the like button. Let's get to the first game. We got the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles, over under 47.5. I'm going under. And to be honest, man, I don't want to do anything with this game, whether it be spread, total, or prop. I'm going to go under because I think both teams start the season out of rhythm. And we saw issues with the Cowboys defense last year. Me saying they had issues is a nice way of saying it. There's a lot in flux. The reason why this is dangerous is because we know the Eagles offense is going to be competent. But how do they start the season? Do you plan on them putting up 30? I don't. I think this Cowboys defense will be resilient enough to get stops. And we know this Cowboys offense is dangerous, but they're going up against a very, very good defense. I'm going under the 47.5. I have no science. Next game, and we're going reverse order. We got the Minnesota Vikings at the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Over, under 44.5. Money, under. And I don't want to do this. You guys know I'm a Vikings fan, but I'm just not on the same vibe with J.J. McCarthy. I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I'm not saying he's going to struggle. I'm not saying O'Connell isn't an elite offensive mind in this league. I'm not saying any of that. But I do think this is a really difficult spot for a rookie quarterback making his first start in the NFL. And someone's going to say, Lawson, he's not a rookie. Bro, until you step on an NFL field in a real game, you're a rookie to me. On the other side, the Bears don't have a crown jewel at quarterback in themselves. I do like the Ben Johnson hire. I do think the Chicago Bears offensive line will be much better, and I'm absolutely bullish on DeAndre Swift. With all that being said, I just don't think this Bears offense is going to be firing at top rate against the Brian Flores defense. I also want to mention the home field here. And I know maybe this is me just with a little bit of bias, but when I think of Soldier Field, the last thing I think about is shootouts and offensive football. I'm going the under 44.5 here, making a money pick, and I think both teams are going to be nervous. And how can you not? Caleb Williams flopped last year, and McCarthy's making his first career start on the road. Next game, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the Buffalo Bills. Over, under 50.5. I'm going to go over. And this is more so about the Bills defense than it is about the Ravens defense. And we know what Josh Allen does. He creates big plays without much help. And I know everyone wants to say, yeah, like Josh Allen doesn't need wide receivers. But I think in these type of high-octane games, it makes a difference. And that's why I'm not going to make this over a money pick. I really like this Ravens secondary, and I think they're top 3 in the league. On the other side, I do think this Ravens offense will be more than competent. Do I see them hitting the brilliance we saw at times last year? No, I don't. But this Bills defense is on the bottom third in the league, and especially if you start getting at this Bills secondary, getting at the Bills with the run right up the middle at their defensive tackles and linebackers, I feel like the Bills defense has big issues. I'm going over the 50.5. Like I said, I don't want to bet it. Next game, we got the Houston Texans at the Los Angeles Rams. Over, under 44. Money. Listen, not much has changed besides the video I did 2 weeks ago where I picked the under and I made it a money pick. The only thing that changed is it went 44.5 down to 44. Matt Stafford's been practicing, and they say Matt Stafford is full systems go. Even if Matt Stafford is 100%, which I don't think he is, and I think this injury is concerning, I think this Texans defense is a really bad matchup for him. And I'm curious if the Rams are going to be able to run the ball. If they don't run the ball this game, I could see the offense struggling for large swaths of it. On the other side, I'm worried about this Texans offensive line, period. With all the transition, with all the new players and the performance we saw last year, losing Laramie Tunsil, listen, this is a big concern. But you add another layer on top of that when you talk about Jared Verse, Fisk, Bryant, and maybe the most underrated defensive front in the league that for some reason no one wants to talk about. I just think this is a defensive football game with a playoff type level of physicality that I don't know how to quantify into words. Like, this is a big game with big stakes, and I think both defenses come out ready to play. And everyone wanted to criticize Herbert after that postseason performance last year. I get it. It's the easy thing to do. But no one wanted to tip the fedora to the Texans defense. And I told you guys going in that Texans unit is a game and fit unit. Give me the under 44. Make it a damn money pick, man. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell, at the Green Bay Packers. Over, under 47. Money, borderline. Really fucking borderline. I'm going the under 47, but can I be honest? Firstly, I want to watch this game as a fan. I don't know who wins the game, Lions or Packers. Your guess is as good as mine. But I do think both offenses have their fair share of issues. The Lions were probably the best offense in the league last year. But I'm worried about two new coordinators for the Lions. I'm worried about losing players on the Lions offensive line. And this Lions offensive line has been elite, especially from a run blocking perspective the last 2 years. And also, I want to get against this Packers defense. They had Micah Parsons, so that makes it a little bit more scary. But you want to know what else makes this game scary? All the shit Detroit talked last year during that game in Lambeau Field. Like, listen, it was even a lot for me, and I'm one to beat my chest. Some of the stuff I'm on Raw St. Brown was saying and doing, like, I mean, that stuff is flagrant, and I don't like, listen, I'm going under, borderline money pick. I don't want to go too much off vibes here, but how can the vibes be positive for either of these offenses when you lose a top 5 offensive coordinator on the Lions side, and then you have a Packers team that struggled to throw the ball? And, you know, I have my issues with Jordan Love, but I also have my issues with the Packers receivers. And every single year, everyone tells me, oh, Watson's emerging, Reed's emerging. This year, it's Golden's going to be elite. Like, it's that stuff every year, and I'm not trying to defend Jordan Love. Under 47, borderline money pick. Next game, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Denver Broncos, over 42.5. I'm going over. This game comes down to if you think this Tennessee offense is going to be competent and a dance partner. What's your game flow? Do you think it's going to be a blowout? Do you think it's going to be closer to the spread? To be honest, I don't know what I'm going to see out of this Titans offense. I mean, this is a game, and it's just absolute nasty pressure cooker they're going into, and you got a Broncos defense that knows how to rush the passer. I'm going over the 42.5. I just don't know what type of game flow we see. And I was concerned about the first string Titans offense. They played a lot in preseason. That's a positive. But also they struggled at times against 2-3s and the vaunted UPS drivers. Next game, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks, over under 43. I'm going over. There's no science here. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at The New York Jets over under 38.5. Money, 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 money. I'm going under here, making a money pick. And you talk about preseason and you wonder, why didn't Rodgers at least take 5 or 6 snaps? And Rodgers was actually better than people thought last year. But a lot of that resurgence and renaissance happened week 8, week 9, when the season was already done and dusted. So you do wonder, like, with all the transition, all the shifting on the Steelers offense, are they going to feel comfortable in this game? Are they going to hit rhythm? And when there's teams who've been together 3, 4, 5 fucking seasons and they don't hit rhythm the week 3 or week 4, hashtag Bengals. And so that's one question. Another question in this equation that you need to consider is, I think this Jets defense is underrated. They solved the other defensive tackle to go with Quinnen Williams, which was absolutely paramount. You got Phillips, you got Noddy. Also, Jermaine Johnson is coming back on that defensive line, and I think Aaron Glenn's going to give a motivational boost and hopefully a schematic boost. I mean, the coaching for the Jets couldn't have been worse last year, but also there's a limit to coaching, and this Jets offense has looked absolutely horrendous during preseason and training camp. I have ears on the grounds at Jets training camp, and the offense has been sputtering even in closed doors. I'm going under the 38.5. Make it a damn money pick. Make sure you get on Patreon, $7 a month. Link in the description. Let's get this money, baby. Come join me. Next game, we got the Tampa Bay Bucs at the Atlanta Falcons. Over under 47.5. I'm going over. This game just comes down to what do you think of Atlanta? Listen, Atlanta is an absolute joker card. I liked some of the stuff we saw out of Michael Penix last year. Tampa Bay needs to blitz to get pressure. Could Todd Bowles confuse him? Yes. But he's also got weapons, and there's like it's just giants in this league like Drake London ready to go off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers secondary that just wasn't fit for requirements last year, and I'm not sure they will be this year. So that's that part, but also we could see the Falcons struggle. But one thing I know is this Falcons defense stinks, and they're not going to hit Baker Mayfield, even with Tristan Wirfs out, and I'm not sure they stopped the run. I'm not sure they stopped the pass. The defense got old really quick, and I don't really trust Raheem to solve that. He made the defense worse last year. So I'm going to go over the 47.5, but I kind of find this Bucs over 23.5 team total points more interesting. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Indianapolis Colts. Over under 46.5. I'm going over. I don't like the full game total, but I do like the team total for the Fins at 23.5. I'm going to go over there. So I hope I explain why in this video, in this passage on this game. So when I look at the Colts defense, I just feel like this is a great matchup for the Dolphins offense. Yes, you got DeForest Buckner, Glover Quinn in the middle. Miami's probably not going to run it. Miami probably wouldn't be able to run it, like, even if both of those guys were injured. Like, I'm not banking on that. I'm not putting that into any sort of equation when we analyze this game. What I am banking on is the Colts secondary, even though they finally added players to it, like Ward. I'm not confident they're going to cover. I'm not confident that Tua's not going to find rhythm. And the big reason why Tua will find rhythm is because the Colts don't get any pressure from the edge. And they're going to need to blitz. And if you blitz, say what you will about Tua, he's very good at identifying coverage and getting the ball out. Teams rarely blitz him. So, I mean, I'm worried about the Dolphins' offensive line, but it can't be worse than last year. And I'm not really fearing the Colts' pass rushers. The only thing I fear about this game in terms of the 46 and a half is if Daniel Jones is going to be a dance partner, but we know Shane Steichen's going to have him ready. So I'm going to go over the 46 and a half. Not as much science there, but I do really like this over 23 and a half team total points for the Miami Dolphins, although I don't want to expose myself too much in this game. Next game, we got the New York Giants at the Washington No Names. Command over under 45. I'm going to go under. Guys, I just don't have much science about this. I mean, we could see Jaden Daniels put up 30 points easy, or we could see this Giants defense be what they thought, be what people think they can be. I think this Giants defense can be a very good defense in this league. I'm not sold on it, so I'm not betting the under, and I'm not thinking about betting it. But, you know, another reason to consider the under, Russell Wilson, under 45. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the New England Patriots, over under 43 and a half. I'm going to go under. But I got to be honest, like there's no science in this, but this feels like one of these games that could go in at 10-10 and then somehow explode to over with a few turnovers and a few big plays. I'm going to go under the 43 and a half. I just don't want to touch this one. I'm sure a lot of people will be betting the under, but I think we've identified better unders in this video. Next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals, Burrow, at the Cleveland Browns, over under 47 and a half over. We know what this Bengals offense is going to do, and we finally saw them prepared in preseason, and I like the way Zach Taylor and Burrow prepared this offense to go into battle week one because, you know, people don't like the war references, but listen, you prepare for the NFL like you're preparing to go into battle, and they didn't do that against the Patriots last year, and they got absolutely curb stomped when they were 8.5-point favorites, and people were saying Lawson doesn't know ball because the Bengals didn't fucking show up because they're Mickey Mouse, but they're going to correct that. I actually really like this Browns defense, though, and I do think Schwartz is going to bring them up from a down season, so that's one reason I can't bet the over. Of course, I'm sure you're saying, Lawson, like, I want to get against this Bengals defense any shape, form, or fashion. Sign me up. Like, I do too, but I just don't feel like this is the time. Although I do think Flacco could be competitive, I just worry about this Cleveland old offensive line. Like guys like Wyatt Teller, they've taken so many injuries and missed so much time. Like I just don't know what we can bank on. If someone has insider information that like says this, like that this Browns offensive line is coming into the season relentless and with a decent bill of health, I'm all for it. I'm just a little bit nervous by some of the injuries I saw this offensive line last year and some of the it was just problems. I'm going over the 47 and a half. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals at the New Orleans Saints, over under 43 and a half. I worry about the Cardinals offense on the road, even though the Saints defense is decrepit. But you want to know what else I worry about? I worry about Spencer Rattler and Tyler Slough under the 43 and a half. Next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Los Angeles Chargers. We're going to Brazil. Over under 45 and a half. I'm going over. And my reason for going over is field conditions. And you guys know I've been living in Brazil 5 years, almost 6 years now. Now, you know, when, let's just use Marlon Humphrey as an example. Marlon Humphrey once complained about the field conditions at Wembley, at Tottenham Stadium. And like people in the UK didn't get offended by it. When like Marlon Humphrey and NFL pundits complained about, and Marlon Humphrey's not even a pundit, but when NFL pundits complained about the field conditions in Brazil, it was like a skating rink. Brazilians got more offended. Like they got really mad about it, and I'm not sure the field at Corinthians Stadium is going to be better. I think this is going to be ice skates. I think the Chiefs are able to move the ball. I'm going to do a separate video on this. I don't cut these up. I go live off the cuff with a lot of preparation. So there will be a Chiefs-Chargers video up specifically with props and all that. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet. Listen, man, Totals Bros. I'm glad to be back for you. Let's get this money.